You need labor points to gather, mine, craft, and perform other vocational activities.
I have been chosen to face a newly on Knight of Honor. So you threw the enchanted dagger, did you? Well, I trust you'll face your opponent with honor, even if he isn't an elf. The neurons are here at an honor's request after all. Okay. Here we go again.
Aurangzeb's memories were passed down from generation to generation. Not with conscious effort, but as an intuitive part of elven nature. Aurangzeb became not only the last elven king, but the spiritual ancestor of his entire race. However, over time, the memories began to fade. All elves trained for the day they could avenge their fallen king by slaying his murderer. But Aurangzeb's thoughts had dulled in their hearts. Only those warriors who trained the hardest in the battle arts, who devoted themselves most completely to elven magic, found that they could recall Aurangzeb's memories with true clarity. The more they learned, the more skilled they became, the more they remembered. On the field of honor, you felt wisps of Aurangzeb's memories swirling and condensing within your mind.
Some quests will give you a free mount to raise. You need labor points.
Ensure participants must use a community for them by tournament officials. Go to the weapon stand in front of the building behind me and pick out a competition blade for yourself. A competition blade. Excellent, this seems to be in order. Additionally, this is a multi-willingness to fight. Show it to anyone who move again. Okay. Back to look at the three slides. There's a knife. So, don't I just choose a knife? Show the competition blade to anyone. How do I show?
Right-click an item in your bag to automatically equip it on your character.
Wanna destroy it. How do I show the knight? Competition like this is some of show to anyone. Yes, but how do I show without destroying it? injury. Kamusta naman? Hope you're doing well. I'm just trying to figure out kung paano natin ma-represent itong blade na to, even though we can't really equip it or do anything other than destroy it. That's not really ang gusto natin gawin is ipakita doon sa lights. I can't seem to show it without destroying it. Oh, maybe. Aha, never mind. That's all I had to do. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Target is facing the wrong direction.
Alright, I did not notice. One more time. Do we still have it? Yes, we still have it. Why are the parts floating? How did I win? Prideful and Did I win? I thought I
You'd never
lost.
before fought a human. They'd never before been allowed on the field of honor. As your Nuian opponent raised his blade, the image of his face reflected on the gleaming metal. But it wasn't his face. The reflection showed an angry, dark-haired man with a taunting sneer. The vision lasted only an instant, but your heart explained what your mind could not. The man you'd seen was Aranzeb's murderer, his former friend turned enemy, Jean. Jean had become Kyrios, the god of destruction, but Aranzeb had hated him long before that. Even before the expedition, Jean was the subject of Aranzeb's unhappiest memories. Jean's actions after receiving the power of a god had only fueled Aranzeb's anger. And facing a human in battle had caused you to briefly look out through his eyes.
Don't let vanity get the best of you, young warrior. This is only the first day of the competition. Go find Elgato in the city of Lemuria. He will give you lodging for the night along with the other elven champions. Let's go. Ang cute mo po. Hello po. Welcome to stream. And welcome to Kumu. Kumusta naman po kayo? So we have to go down south. Okay. Have a mountain. Staring at me, jeez. We have to go up, maybe? Up. Oy, kumusta, Dex? Merry Christmas! Ano nang balita sa'yo? Sa stream ka na ba ulit? Gusto mo umakyat? Ayan, medyo inuubo tayo. Saan ko pa nakuha yan? Malamang sa Italia. Stay where you are. Physicians at the field of honor found evidence of poison on the new. And he died minutes after your duel. What do you have to say for yourself? Oh my god. I was framed. I can't be. I would never attain the field of honor with poison. We truly believe you fought with honor. Climb the tower to the sacred plaza and find Enoir. Kabuti na lang, nagpunta ka pala. Yeah, oo. Nasa Rome ako last week dahil sa mga work meetings namin. Tapos, ayun, yun na yun. Doon lang ako, hindi ako nakapaglibot, walang chance. Hindi ko na rin na-meet yung iba. Si Linus na lang nakita ko nung mag-check-in na siya sa airport. Yun na yun. Nakailang minuto, mga 5 minuto lang. Yun ang chance namin para magkita. Ayan. Pero yung susunod ko na trip papuntang Italia, sa naman yon? Sa March? Milano. Doon naman ako. You train with Harpa, so don't believe you'll run. But if you do, I swear there's nowhere. Okay? Ta-da. Good. Okay, freezing arrow. Na all explorer. Dora the Explorer, di ba? Kagabi kasi dapat talaga ako naglalaro nito. Halos 1 oras akong hindi ko maayos yung yung game kasi lagi siyang black screen dito. Sabi ko, pagod na ako. Alam mo yung dapat 10:30 pa lang maglalaro na ako. So nung umalis na ako sa stream nila yun, nakita ko, nasa welcome center si Bay. Sabi ko, sige, daan muna tayo kasi matagal na tayong magdaan muna tayo kay Bay sa welcome center. Sige ba? Dalaw, chika-chika. Yun nga lang, dapat pala hindi ako pumunta kasi nagstay ako doon buong stream. Kaya, mas na-push yung pag-stream natin. So, ngayon, late tayo natulog. Late na tayo. Late na tayo nakapagpahinga. So, hindi tayo feeling fresh. Pero mamaya mag-stream ako ulit. Kasi mag-prepare ako ng Christmas duck. So, makikita niyo yung recipe na gagamitin ko for this beloved Christmas feast. So, Christmas duck yung nahanda natin. Bukas ko pa ihahanda yung yung Christmas punch. So, yung duck yun ang naanin ko today. Alright. What's this? A young elven warrior in the sacred plaza? Shouldn't we be on the field of honor with others? Ano pinapunta ko dito? And warrior, I wish we could have met under better circumstances. I've had guards tell me that the New Year night I fought has died from poison. Buti na lang wala akong props sa lulutuin. Ay nako, yun ang problema. Ako magluluto, so kailangan kainin mo rin. So it's you and you come here seeking justice even when I suspect you. I will remember that courage. We must halt the competition and begin the investigation at once. That may have far greater consequences than you realize. Okay?
Nausea washed over you when you received word of the Nuyen's death. Memories you didn't recognize crowded your mind, briefly drowning out your own thoughts. Your heart rejoiced at the Nuyen's death, but it wasn't a genuine feeling. It was nothing more than a reflection of Aranzeb's desire to slay Kyrios. As you pushed the feeling aside, you were overcome by a new vision. The memory unfolded, and you once again found yourself looking out through Aranzeb's eyes.
20 minutes na lang, tas mag-e-end na tayo.
The first thing you noticed was Jean's face, but in a new setting, before he'd become Kyrios. He wasn't sneering or wearing armor imbued with dark magic, but was seated in a sunny hall, laughing. Genuine merriment twinkled in his eyes as he gazed at someone just out of view. The vivid contrast between this and what you'd seen of Jean previously was unsettling. As your mind whirled, you almost missed the dire proclamation. You'd been accused of murder.
Sige, ingat ka, Dex. Salamat sa pagdalaw. This one is, I have 2 available points though. competition blade here. Still wet with the poison. That's to your opponent. With your help, we should be able to put this sordid affair to. Okay. Selected reward.
The High Council had ruled the elves since Aranzeb's time back on Auroria. In fact, Aranzeb had several memories of his dealings with them. The Eocad, however, was a more recent invention, implemented since the elves' arrival on Nuia. While the Council addressed elven politics and law, the Eocad were all warriors. Though called priests, it was more of a cultural determination than a religious one. They guided and shaped elven culture and behavior, with the ultimate purpose of preparing the race to slay Kyrios and avenge their murdered king. Enoir had always been a bit of a firebrand among your people. Rumors said he'd been invited into the Eocad only so he could be better controlled. But he had somehow managed to rise through the ranks and now led the group as High Priest. Perhaps more elves doubted their isolationist path than were willing to admit it publicly. Many elves seemed like they would be happy enough just to find a scapegoat for the Nuians' murder. The Council seemed like it would be happiest if that scapegoat was Enoir. Balayan, however, was different. Above all else, he wanted the truth. His noble bearing reminded you of Aranzeb. Magic throbbed in your head as Balayan searched your mind for clues to establish your innocence, as well as your honor. As he dredged through your thoughts, you recalled your vision of Jean laughing. You followed the memory further. The point of view shifted, as if Aranzeb had turned his head. Across the table, you saw what Jean was smiling at. A raven-haired woman in a mage's robes.
So we're playing ArcheAge. Technically, in a few minutes tapos na tayo. Magkahanda pa tayo na ating lunch, and then we're gonna prepare the Christmas stuff for our dinner. I will summon an eye true to detect any traces of the poison on your person. Use it, and you can finally prove your innocence or your guilt. Oh, my God. So, use the eye of truth while standing near of the lion. Okay. Did you give me an eye of truth? Yes, you did. Congratulations, the Eye of Truth found no evidence of poison. I'll alert the Elgato and clear your name. Wonderful. Of course, this means that someone else went through the trouble of poisoning the woman, but who and for what purpose? Okay. You've proven your innocence, but now I'm afraid I need your help as the only person at that tournament who we're certain wasn't involved. You're the perfect one to assist us in this investigation. I fashioned a detection orb attuned to the poison we found on your blade. Take it north to Seer Garcello and solely help him find the real color. Okay. Let's see. Well, the lion has a lot of horses. Smell the roses. Please tell me there's a way out from here. ancestors told me that I should expect guests. What can I do for you? The lion made this detection order to help track down the poisoner from the field of honor. Ah, yes, a nasty business. And the millions are sure to take the loss to heart. We must find this criminal quickly.
Earlier, when you saw that woman through Aranzeb's eyes, you felt a pang within your soul. Love. A pure love, deep and abiding, hummed through you, one of Aranzeb's most powerful emotions. A name formed in your thoughts. Kiprosa. That was the raven-haired woman you'd seen, the one wearing mage's robes. She'd been another of the 12 adventurers, as well as human. Aranzeb had loved her, beyond words, beyond measure, beyond logic. He hadn't hated all humans after all. Perhaps the realization made you curious to learn more about humans. Or perhaps you wanted to deepen the weight of coin in your pockets. Whatever the reason, you volunteered to help Belian investigate the Nuyen Knight's death.
She's cooking. Not really cooking because we're preparing our Christmas lights. So I'm going to start ending the stream here, and maybe tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. CET. Dapat is CST yan. We are still now in 11 a.m. CET, and tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, I've scheduled to play Guild Wars 2 again, and then on Sunday at 11 a.m. So I'll see you guys next time, and I'm gonna be ending the stream now. See you.